So with that, we go straight into what we are going to talk about today. We are talking about career development. And sometimes when we talk about career development, people think that it is an outwardly worldly thing that has nothing to do with being a Christian. For Christians, you are just supposed to pray and thank God and worship. That's it. Career development, the purpose of my presentation today is to say that developing your career is biblical. It's what God expects of every Christian, and therefore when we choose to look at how we would grow in our chosen fields, it is part of what God expects of you and I. So the title of my message is Zafna Pania, the dream, the prize, and the glory. The dream, the prize, and the glory. Zafna Pania, the dream, the prize, and the glory. I would like to start from this basic premise, which you can find in Psalm 139, verse 14. Psalm 139, verse 14, which says that, I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and my soul knows very well. I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and my soul knows very well. Now, if you go through that psalm just simply magnifies the Lord and contextualizes God in who we are. So it talks about, if I go to the sky, you are there. Into the depths of soul of hell, you are there. If I say that the night is dark, I cannot be covered. And despite the expanse of what God has done, you and I, we are so small, yet God knows us intimately. So much so that when we were being crafted in our mother's womb, God knew we were coming up. And every single day of your life has been written in God's book. And he says that, Jesus told us that even the number of hair that you have on your head, God knows. So anybody seated in this auditorium, it is my prayer and my wish that as you leave here today, know that God knows you. God cares for you. God has you in the palm of his hands. Your journey, your destination is so important to God that every step that you take, he's aware of it. You are unique. You are not just here by accident. You are a unique person created by God for his good works. And that uniqueness, I want us to go to the Bible and see some people that ordinarily we think that, oh, they are the big guys, the big guns. And see how each of them traveled that journey. We have Abraham, who is he would call a pioneer or an entrepreneur that some of us aspire to be, or some of us are. His son Isaac, he inherited his father's wealth, so Isaac will call him a second generation CEO. So then it implies Abraham was good, or put in place the necessary structures to ensure that his business can carry on to other generations. Due to certain circumstances, Isaac's son, Jacob, couldn't take over his father's work, but he went into a partnership with his father-in-law. The partnership, well, it had its good sides and bad sides, but in the end, because God's hand was on Jacob, he still came on top, and it is recorded that Jacob was very rich. when he was leaving his father's house. Jacob had a son called Joseph, and Joseph was an intrapreneur. Joseph didn't create his own organization. Joseph worked in somebody's organization from different roles, played different roles in different organizations, but he progressed systematically till he became the prime minister. So these are 4 people, and I named all guys, and I didn't like that. So I looked for Ruth, who started as maybe somebody will call a cleaner in the house, but due to her diligence and her hard work and her sacrifice, the leaders recognized the potential she had, and based on that, she was elevated in the organization and became a co-CEO. Then we get to the proper Madame General, who is Queen of Sheba. It is said that the gold that she gave to Solomon, that amount had never been seen in Israel before. So it tells you that this is a conglomerate, a CEO, not having of our present day Apple or Jack Bezos or any of them that we know about. That is somebody whose enterprise was global. So we realize in the Bible, we have different people playing different roles, and based on the role God had for them, they excelled in that role and brought God to the fore. And therefore, right now we are in 2021. In 2021, one of the things that we talked about most, let me say it occupied about 50% of all conversations in 2020 was a COVID. And we all said it was a crisis. Some of us put our heads on our head and say, hey, Charlie, I'm dying, and all sorts of things. How many of you didn't do that? Confession, we are in church. Nobody should die. How many did not feel that the COVID was the end of life? Raise your hand. So we all felt it. We all felt it. Okay, it's very real. Right. So COVID was a crisis, an unprecedented crisis that hit our world. And it's changed our whole concept, our whole narrative, the way we see each other, the way we see our families, the way we see things that we see normally. And this crisis brought us about a time for us to say, do we really have something to go on to? So, in Genesis 41, one such crisis was about to happen. So let's go to Genesis 41, 37 to 46. This introduces the man Joseph again. And Joseph, as we know, was a child of Jacob. We've traced that. And when we first saw him in Genesis 30, he was just a baby. In Genesis 37, he comes up as a 17-year-old boy who was a favorite, as we'll say, he's a dadaba. Dadaba, everything that daddy likes him for everything. Then because of his dadaba ways, and he's too known. Joseph, why? Too known, everything he go talk some. When he dreams, he will talk. When he sees his brothers doing wrong, he will talk. Everything, like Paul. They said, this one will show him. And so they showed him. And they showed him so badly that he went into slavery. And therefore, that potential that he had seemed to have been curtailed. I won't read it because of time, so I just want us to go on. And he first had, so based on that, he was taken into slavery, became a prisoner. In the prison, he was one of the sharp guys, so he was made head of the prison. And then the Pharaoh had a dream. Nobody could interpret it. The gift that Joseph had was what led him to come into prominence and become the CEO or the deputy CEO or the prime minister of Egypt. And therefore, what are Joseph's 7 keys? The first one is a compelling dream. If you really want to develop your career, you must ask yourself, what do I want to get to? Or where do I want to get to? What do I want to do? So that is the basis of every single compelling dream, or every single compelling dream that one would have. If you don't have a dream, you will just be sitting down and saying, I wish, and you would wish till the kingdom come. Nothing would happen. So first, have a compelling dream. Secondly, that dream left alone will just remain a dream. You must harvest that talent that God gave only you. Nobody knows it. You know what you have. You know what gifts you have. You know what you can do effortlessly, whilst others are struggling. You know, recently I developed, don't tell anyone, today I'm giving you secrets, so anyway, so recently I stumbled on suits. You know, is this what do you call it? Is this TV series on Netflix? I hadn't gone to I didn't like Netflix because I knew if I go there, Wahala will come. So I stumbled on Suits, and in Suits, there's this one gentleman who has a very photographic memory. So that he just reads something and he doesn't need to read it again. That is his talent, that is his gift, and he utilizes that. What is your gift? What is your talent? That is something that you would have to harvest to get to where you are. Joseph's was that he could interpret dreams. He was an interpreter of dreams. What Joseph also teaches us is the ability or the need to persist. Even when you are facing a crisis in your life, the fact that the seed is in the ground and the fact that there are stones in its way does not mean the seed will not germinate. So far as it has been sown and it has the will, it has the capacity, it has the opportunity to grow out of that ground, that seed will germinate. Therefore, in your life, what is difficult that you cannot overcome? God says you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. And therefore, I want you to have that at the back of your mind, that no matter what, I need to ensure that I persist and I excel in every circumstance, no matter how bad. The fourth one is stewardship. Joseph says so beautifully when Potiphar's wife came to him that my master has given me everything under my care. The prisoners, the warden, also gave Joseph everything under his care. He could only do that because Joseph was diligent. Joseph was a good steward. Joseph was someone that when you gave responsibility to, he ensured that he did it well. So much so that you don't stress. Don't be the person that they ask you to go and do something and then you just do the bare minimum. You will not grow. Nobody hates you. It's just that you are not diligent, you are lazy, and you are irresponsible. May it not be said about we children of God that we are irresponsible. Let's be full of integrity. Our skills, let's develop those skills that we have to the highest level ever. You are young and you are growing. Some of us, we will improve if we keep on learning every single day as we go on. So develop your skills to the highest level. Number 6, prepare. Because Joseph, whilst he was in the prison, whilst he was in Potiphar's house, he was preparing. Package yourself. When he was told that the Pharaoh was looking at you, looking for you, he didn't go there just dressed anyhow. He went and said, yeah, okay. He went, they said he shaved his beard. You don't go anywhere and say, oh, as for me, this is how I am, so it doesn't matter how I walk. So, no, package yourself. Nowadays, we talk about branding. Brand yourself well. So people see you, brand yourself internally as well as externally. And then make your presentation, know how to speak. So if you lack communication skills, learn those communication skills so that you can tell people what you do. Sometimes you have the apple. You do the presentation, but the way you are hesitant, the way you are shaking in your bones, everybody knows that you are not, you don't have the wherewithal. So yes, you present the answers, but somebody else will be brought to take the glory. So I beg you, learn how to communicate effectively to people. And then add application to what you are done. You're asked to do. If Joseph had just given the plan, so 14 years, this is what he will do, this is what he will do. And then when they had asked him to apply it, he's like, I don't know how to do it. It wouldn't have worked. He wouldn't have grown in his career. Therefore, know it and learn how to use that which you have. The seventh one is step up when the opportunity arises. I am shy, especially we ladies. Sometimes you are well qualified, and then they ask you, okay, try it. Yeah, say, oh, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Lead a discussion. I don't want to lead the discussion. No. Prepare yourself well. When the time comes, take the opportunity. Even if you fail a little, you will learn and use that to rise in whatever you're going to do. As I end this presentation, I want to say that whatever we accomplish, whatever we do, wherever we go, once we put on our name that we are Christians, we are children of God, our end is always the glory of our Lord Jesus Christ. Let's be Zaphnapanians. Let's know how to win the war by recognizing the dream that we have, the price that we need to pay by having the right talents, by having the compelling dream, by ensuring that we are well prepared, and the glory shall be the Lord's. Thank you, and God bless you.